There is a rhythm that breathes beneath everything. It pulses in your heartbeat, in the tides of the oceans, in the orbit of planets, in the invisible music that holds the atoms together. Four beats, four directions, four elements, four stages of mind. A pattern so ancient that every civilization built its temples upon it, aligned their monuments to it, and yet somehow humanity forgot. They called it many names: the four winds, the four corners of creation, the cross of matter. But beneath all the symbolism lies a single truth: reality is not chaos, it is architecture, it runs on code. You can see it everywhere once you start to look. The body, the emotion, the mind, the spirit, four mirrors of the same intelligence, four frequencies vibrating together to form the human experience. When they are aligned, life flows with precision and meaning. When they are divided, life feels like static, noise, confusion, repetition. Something happened to us. At some point, we were taught to separate what was never meant to be divided. The body became mechanical. Emotion became weakness. Mind became noise. Spirit became superstition. And so we forgot the code. But the code never forgot us. It still hums underneath every breath, waiting to be remembered. Imagine for a moment that reality is not a linear story, but a living field. Time does not flow from past to future. It spirals. Every moment is a crossroad where your vibration selects which branch of reality you will experience next. You are not walking through time. Time is flowing through you. This is why ancient people built circles, not lines, medicine wheels, mandalas, solar calendars, pyramids aligned to cardinal points. They understood that existence moves in cycles, not in deadlines. Their science was not primitive, it was participatory. They didn't study the cosmos, they conversed with it. What they discovered is what modern science is rediscovering now: that consciousness and reality are interwoven. Quantum physics calls it the observer effect. Hermeticism calls it mentalism. Different languages, same law: the world behaves according to the mind that observes it. But there's more. The four codes do not merely describe existence, they govern it. They are the operating system of consciousness itself. The first code is the body, the foundation. It anchors spirit into matter. It is your compass in physical form, made of the same elements that form the stars. To master the body is to reclaim presence. When you breathe consciously, eat consciously, move consciously, you tune the instrument through which all higher frequencies play. You realize that matter isn't your prison, it is your amplifier. The second code is emotion, the alchemical water that translates vibration into experience. Every feeling is energy in motion, emotion. Emotions are not obstacles. They are indicators, sacred messengers that tell you where you are resonating. When ignored, they stagnate into pain. When embraced, they transform into power. The ancient healers didn't repress emotions. They danced them, sang them, released them through rhythm, through art, through ritual. They knew that emotion is the bridge between the body and the mind, the first step toward coherence. The third code is mind, the fire that shapes worlds. Your thoughts are frequencies, your beliefs are programs. They filter what you perceive and broadcast what you attract. Most minds run in beta, high frequency, high stress, constant analysis. It keeps you trapped in survival, unable to hear the deeper signal beneath the noise. But when you slow the frequency, alpha, theta, the doors of reality begin to open. You start to receive insights, intuition, guidance. The subconscious becomes a garden rather than a labyrinth. This is where real magic begins, not tricks but transformation. And the fourth code is spirit, the air that breathes through all the others. It is not separate from you. It is the awareness that witnesses you. Spirit is the silent field in which body, emotion, and mind arise and dissolve. It is the unbroken dimension that connects you to everything. When you live from spirit, synchronicity becomes natural. Time bends, events align, and reality mirrors your clarity. These four codes, body, emotion, mind, spirit, are not layers stacked on top of each other. They are dimensions rotating in harmony, forming a tetrahedral pattern, the sacred geometry of being. Every imbalance in your life traces back to a distortion in one of these codes. Every breakthrough comes when all four click into alignment. But somewhere along history, the keepers of this knowledge realized its power could not be entrusted to everyone. They encoded it in symbols, hid it in myths, carved it into stone, concealed it behind religions and secret societies. Not out of malice, but out of fear, because consciousness in alignment cannot be controlled. A human who remembers their fourfold nature becomes sovereign. They no longer seek authority outside themselves. They live as microcosms of the cosmos. That is the secret the ancient world tried to whisper through pyramids, cathedrals, and mandalas. You are not a fragment of the universe. You are the universe looking at itself. To live by the code is to become a conscious participant in creation. It starts by remembering that time itself is flexible. Past, present, and future are not fixed points. They are resonances. The memory of the past is only a vibration still echoing through the field. The image of the future is a vibration waiting for permission to emerge. The moment you change your emotional frequency, the timeline you inhabit shifts. You have seen glimpses of this. A day when time slows and everything flows effortlessly. A chance encounter that feels orchestrated. A dream that manifests days later. These are not coincidences. They are signs that you are syncing with the deeper rhythm. The mind is the interface through which time communicates with consciousness. It is both transmitter and receiver. Whatever thought you stabilize becomes instruction to the field. That's why the ancients trained concentration, not as discipline, but as navigation. A focused mind doesn't force reality, it directs it. Beta consciousness lives at the surface, tossed by waves. Alpha opens creativity. Theta opens reprogramming. Delta opens communion. Move through these like stations on a cosmic radio, and reality begins to sing back. This is the forgotten art, not manipulating matter but modulating mind. Change the inner frequency and the outer projection reorganizes. That's not fantasy, it's physics written in poetry. The body will respond first. You'll feel energy moving differently, sleep deepens, senses sharpen. Emotion follows, fear releases, gratitude floods in. The mind quiets, the endless commentary softens into knowing. And then, in the silence beyond thought, spirit reveals itself not as something to reach, but as what you've always been. At that moment, something irreversible happens. You realize that reality is responsive, alive, intelligent, and that your role is not spectator but co-creator. You stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "What frequency in me called this into being?" This awareness dismantles manipulation. No propaganda, no authority, no system can dictate a mind that knows it writes its own timeline. That is why this knowledge was hidden, because an awakened population cannot be ruled by fear. When you activate the four codes, your life reorganizes organically. You eat differently, not out of rule but resonance. You move differently, not to perform but to express. You speak with intention, listen with presence, feel without resistance. The world mirrors this coherence. Synchronicities multiply, old patterns dissolve. The future stops being random. It's as if the universe recognizes you again because, in truth, it's you recognizing yourself. And that recognition spreads. Consciousness is contagious. The moment one person stabilizes coherence, it ripples outward, recalibrating the field for others. Entire systems begin to wobble, not through revolution, but through evolution. Old structures based on fragmentation collapse naturally under the weight of awakened unity. That is why the new era will not arrive through politics but through vibration, not through rebellion but remembrance. The four codes are not beliefs, they are technologies of awareness. To live them is to synchronize the microcosm with the macrocosm, to make your heartbeat match the rhythm of the stars. You begin to see life as geometry, not random, but ordered. Each experience becomes a facet of a greater design. The pain you endured now appears as a necessary adjustment, a note correcting dissonance back to harmony. Everything begins to make sense, because you are finally seeing from the center, not the periphery. The ancients said that when you align the four elements within, the fifth element, ether, awakens. It is the consciousness of unity. It does not belong to time, it moves through it. It bends reality not by force but by coherence. You have that power. You always did. The world doesn't need you to escape it, it needs you to remember it from within. So tonight, when the noise of the day fades and silence returns, listen carefully. Behind your thoughts, behind your heartbeat, behind the pulse of the earth, there is a fourfold rhythm breathing with you. It is not separate from you. It is you. The body, the emotion, the mind, the spirit, the four mirrors of the infinite. Together they form the key to bend reality, not as a magician, but as an artist of existence. Reality was never solid. It is a canvas of vibration, waiting for the brushstroke of consciousness. Remember the code, live by it, and the universe will remember you.